A high school advisor gave me some advice on repeat, a lot like what most of his advice was. It's almost like you could have a soundboard of this man, and on any given day, you might know what advice he's going to give you or what he's going to say, and you could just press that button and hear it. And one of the things that he would always say is that the wisest people on earth live they plan as if they're going to be here for 100 years, 100 more years, but they live as if they're going to die tomorrow. And he implored us to live at the tension in between those two things. So, you're a freshman, a sophomore, junior, senior in high school. What do you do with that sort of advice? Life is so short to you at that point that you might have the wiseness inside of you to take heed of that advice, but you also just have not lived long enough to know the truth of that. So maybe you take that advice, maybe you don't. Why do I tell you this? Why do I bring this to my YouTube channel? Why do I bring this to you watching this right now as an online coach, as an online business owner? We run a program here that's called Get Clients, and we help our students every single day of the week to help them to install the systems and to get the fundamentals so instilled inside of them that clients start flowing their way. And there's a lot of ways that we do this. I won't belabor the point with any of those things because there's no shortage of content on the web for how to do that. There's no shortage here on my channels for how we do that, no shortage of diagrams, of worksheets, of any of those things. But one of the things that I notice with the majority of our students and most of the people that we connect with every single day, week in and week out around here, is that there's this constant need to be in a rush. There are so many coaches right now that are below that 5K a month mark, below that 10K a month mark, yet they have a podcast. They are on every single social media channel. They're well branded. You go to their website and it's fully packed with beautiful landing pages, tons of information. They have sales pages and checkout systems and all of these things, but there's still one thing missing. And that's just the clients. They just aren't showing up. The right ones aren't showing up. They aren't paying in full. When they do join, they aren't completing their payment plans. They aren't showing up. They aren't playing full out. Yet they have all of these beautiful things in the business. They have the best tech. They've been through way more than just my coaching program. I'm not the first coach they've hired. I'm not the first program that they've joined. If you're watching this right now, you've probably been in more than one coaching program, taken more than one course, been in this game for probably more than a year. That's my guess. And if not, correct me down in the comments below. But we have with all of these things and systems installed, and they look great, but we're still missing the main component. So something's missing. That main thing missing is a constant flow, a consistent flow of ideal clients, of high-paying clients that are not only investing, they're showing up and engaging in your program, doing the work, taking your marching orders and going and implementing them and changing their life through how you coach them and how you get them results. And so what do we do with this advice? How do we plan to live for 100 years, and how do we also live as if we're going to die tomorrow? And the reason I bring this to you is because there is so much more time to get all of these things done in your business and to look like one of the biggest people online and in your space, to be that sought after coach that you want to be. But I can tell you this, that it takes a lot less effort to get to 5 to 10K a month than it does to actually install all of those things. In fact, all those things that I said are not necessary at all to grow your business, to even start your business. You don't need a website. You don't need a podcast. You don't need a webinar. You don't need a Facebook group. Those are some of the big hot buttons right now that we see out there. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. You don't have to be on TikTok. You do have to do a few of the right things in the right order at the right time and for enough time if you do want to be successful as an online coach, if you do want to make more than what your day job has brought you or your best career to this date. And so I want for you watching this right now to think about all of the time that you do have left in your business and not to rush it. Not to brush past the important milestones you need to get past, of the mile markers that actually show you the business is headed in the right direction before you go and install something new. Because after you do the podcast, the Facebook group, you rebrand the website, you do SEO, you get on LinkedIn, you do YouTube, you launch in TikTok, you start doing micro content, you start doing all of these things, and business still isn't working, and coaching clients still aren't showing up in the way that you're wanting consistently and in a way that gets you beyond 5 to 10, 15, 20K a month. What you're left with when you install all of those things, and guys, I only know this from personal experience, and I only know this from coaching hundreds of online coaches throughout my career, is that what you're going to be left with at the end of the day is you and your behaviors and habits. And at the end of the day, it's you and your behavior and habits that are going to drive your business to be a success or to be a failure or to be something that kind of just stays stagnant. And I call those kind of hobbyist entrepreneurs, where your life and your identity is being an online coach and being an online business owner, but you don't have the results to show it just yet. Now, I also have to give you kudos that if you have an online business and you've even considered starting an online business, I think that's a huge success in my book. And if you had decided to become a coach and you've gotten some clients, or you're helping clients out right now, I'd consider you a success. Now, would I consider you, or would you consider yourself a success to the degree that you want to be at? Well, that's a whole different question. But what I do know is that there is time. And so if you are that online coach that has the podcast and the site and your Instagram's branded well, you're doing tons of content, you're doing all of the things, but you don't have the clients consistently showing up yet, then it's time to take a pause. It's time to really reflect on, are you doing the right things, the things that will call for your business to grow and to scale, just because you're doing the right things in the right order at the right time for enough time? Because I can tell you this, that when you look under the hood of most of these businesses, and when you look under the hood of yours, what a lot of you are going to find is that we've done things out of order. You've done all the things to make you look like a successful online coach, but you still don't have the clients. In fact, you might be, whether you know it or not, holding on to a limiting belief that is sabotaging your results. And that limiting belief is, am I a fraud? And do I really have the skills to do this, or am I just blowing smoke? Did I do all of the things that will look like an online business, but did I miss out on the few fundamental things that actually get the runs around the bases to bring sports into this? Because the truth is that the most successful online businesses and the most successful online coaches and entrepreneurs have the most simple and boring businesses that you can ever imagine, but they work and they get the lion's share of clients, while the majority of other coaches really kind of fight for the crumbs and the scraps left at the bottom. And so what I want for you to think about right now is, if we strip away all of these unnecessary components of your business that you may have installed or some degree of, and we just got back to the fundamentals, would your results be different? Would this manifest the kind of business that you're wanting? And when I say manifest, I don't mean that you're meditating off in the corner visualizing. I mean manifesting through action. I mean by doing the right things in the right order at the right time and for enough time so that the clients start to flow your way, that you start to book calls, you start to get them on calls, and you get them closing you, and then you wind up at the end of that call with a sale with a very new, excited client that you can go and share out on social media to inspire others who are on the fence, or the other tire kickers who are thinking about joining but just haven't made the decision just yet. And I don't think that it's ever too late to reinvent yourself. I don't think it's ever too late to say, let me pause so that I can strip away and simplify so that I actually can scale. Because too many of you guys right now, you're trying to scale the wrong things and you're trying to scale way too soon. And you would go way further, way faster without the added extra weight that you have in the boat with your podcast, with your group, with all these things that take so much of your time that you're not left with any more time prospecting. So I want for you to start planning as if you're going to live for 100 years, but also living at the tension that you could die tomorrow. And so what that means is putting your best foot forward, expanding your vision for what your online business looks like. And that means simplifying. That means making and boiling things down to the critical few things so that you can actually enjoy the life you have right now while simultaneously building the life and business that you're envisioning. It's never too late to reinvent yourself. Start planning as if you're going to be here for another 100 years, but live as if you're going to die tomorrow.